Mr. Speaker, nice to see you, sir.
Hey, Greta, great to see you as always.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, the Republicans say that the whole issue here is that the Democrats are trying to get illegal health care benefits for immigrants who are not here in this country legally. And they say it's not true. So can you tell me, are the Democrats trying to get health care benefits for people here illegally or not?
They absolutely are, and you don't have to take our word for it. You can look at what they filed in the record. See, we passed a clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution, a simple stopgap funding measure to keep the government open. No partisan pills or priorities in that, just a simple, nonpartisan matter that Chuck Schumer already voted for in March. We put it on the floor again, we passed it through the House, and we sent it to the Senate. Now, instead of just doing the reasonable thing to keep the government open for the people, Chuck Schumer sent a counter-proposal. We had a clean CR. He sent us a dirty CR, Greta. That's one way to say it. Now, part of that CR, just one part of the crazy things in there, is that he wants to add $1.5 trillion in new spending. And part of that is to restore health care to illegal aliens. Now, why do we say that? Because in the bill, look, anybody can Google this. Pull up his bill that he filed. It's in writing, page 57, section 2141. They want to repeal the health care provisions of the one big beautiful bill that we passed and got signed into law on July 4th. What we did in that bill was a lot of great things for the country, but very importantly, we prevented illegal aliens, these tens of millions of people that President Biden allowed into the country with a wide open border in 4 years. We made sure that they cannot get taxpayer-funded benefits, including health care. That comports with federal law. We cleaned it up. We made sure it happened. And this is important too, Greta. The Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, which is the nonpartisan arbiter of everything's here on the Hill, they came out with a letter, a report on August 25th, a few weeks ago. And they said that that bill, the One Big Beautiful Bill, did exactly what we said. It is going to bring down the cost of health care. Why? Because we're kicking ineligible recipients off of the program. Medicaid is intended for young pregnant women, the elderly, and the disabled that are U.S. citizens and nobody else. And so we're going to save $185 billion is the estimate in the program by kicking off illegals and young able-bodied men without dependents who are riding the wagon. We are saving the program. They want to repeal that, and that's a major problem.
Well, let me see if I understand this right. Continuing resolution that this is an appropriation for the year beginning October 1st, which obviously didn't get appropriated. So what you're operating off, if you have what I call a clean CR, is what was appropriated a year ago under a different administration. Is that correct? You're not changing what President Biden had and the last Congress had?
That's right. These are Biden-era policies. So, of course, we'd like to change that. We want to have our own conservative priorities, but just to allow time for the appropriators to do that, we need 7 more weeks. So this is a stopgap funding measure, very simple, very clean, to keep the government open and operating until November 21st to allow the appropriators the time to go through and do that very thing. Congress is supposed to enact 12 separate appropriations bills every year. It hasn't worked that way in a long time, Greta. Usually, everybody's heard of the omnibus spending bills that are jammed on everybody at the end of the year before Christmas. That's no way to run a railroad. And so we've been trying to force back the muscle memory to get Congress to work the way it's supposed to. And we've made great strides. We just ran out of clock. So we just need a little more time. The end of the fiscal year was on September 30th. They wouldn't allow us to keep the government open, to keep the process moving. And that's the problem. And that's why real Americans are not going to be harmed, really, seriously, because of these actions.
So just to get this straight, is that you're not asking for anything except more time. You're just basically saying we need, as we say in the courtroom, a continuance until another day. You're not asking for anything more, but so that the Democrats and Republicans, the House and the Senate, can sit down. You don't want anything more until November 21st.
It's exactly like a continuance in court, exactly, for all of our lawyer friends. This is not an argument on the substance or the merits of the case. We just need more time. That's it. And Chuck Schumer won't grant it. And here's what's important. Everybody wants to know, why would he do that? Because, gosh, Chuck Schumer's the leader of the Democrats. He's been in Washington for decades, and he's always gone out and given these long speeches about how government shutdowns are dangerous and selfish and destructive. Well, they still are, but he's changed his tune. Why? And here's the simple fact. Vice President J.D. Vance said it very clearly today. I've been saying it on interviews. Chuck Schumer is scared of his own shadow. He's afraid that AOC and the far left, base of his party is going to challenge him in his next Senate race. And so he has to do this for selfish reasons to show that he's fighting so he doesn't get challenged from his far left. Chuck Schumer is a far left Democrat himself, but that's why he's doing it.
Do you anticipate any mutiny within the Democratic Party on that? If you say that Chuck Schumer is doing this for political survival, and you've got AOC, Congresswoman AOC, breathing down his back, I mean, do you anticipate any sort of mutiny?
I do. I think that the Democrats will begin to peel off quickly. You saw that already. Leader Thune is going to continue to put our House bill, the clean CR, on the floor in the Senate over and over, and I think we'll begin to peel off more and more Democrats. 2 have already defected. 1 of the independents have done that. And I think as this thing goes forward and more pain is felt by the American people because of the shutdown, I think they're going to leave Chuck Schumer by himself in a corner that he painted himself into. Now, let's very quickly say, when we talk about pain for the American people, this is very real. I mean, what's happening right now is not only do you have our troops, our military, our TSA agents, Border Patrol agents working without pay, okay? Veterans, their services are being delayed. You're also, what they've done by shutting the government down is they have stopped the WIC program. What is that? Women, Infants, and Children Nutrition Program. They've stopped mental health services and telemedicine for lower income Medicaid and Medicare recipients who are getting health care at home. All those programs are going to stop. They have stopped now because Chuck Schumer decided to play politics for selfish reasons. It's really shameful.
Does Congress have any role at all, does the House or the Senate, and I think I know the answer is to what is actually cut down? Or is it just the White House and OMB? And are you having any sort of consultation? Because there's a lot of gaming that's sometimes done, administrations, to try to put the most pressure on the other side. But of course, it affects the American people. You know, what services are cut first?
Yeah, it's a great question. We had a conference call about an hour and a half ago with Russ Vought, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget in the Trump administration. And Russ, like you and I mean, Russ is a limited government conservative. He knows the government is not as efficient as it should be, and it's too large and does too many things. And so he has priorities, but he has a very important responsibility as the director of OMB to determine which services that the federal government provides are essential and which are not, which programs and policies and personnel are essential and which are not. And so he doesn't relish that opportunity. It's something that is hoisted upon him. He has to do it. Now, in the call, he told us, I'll tell you, Greta, he said, they're being very careful and judicious. They don't want to do any harm to any Americans. But if you can downsize the scope of government and some of these inefficient programs, that is a great benefit to American taxpayers. So we'll see how that rolls out. There'll be many more details over the coming days, but they're being very judicious in how they handle that.
Well, it seems almost like an Elon Musk Doge dream, because there really are 2 options. You can either eliminate jobs at this point, or you can furlough people like it is done oftentimes before, where they're furloughed, whether it's a 35-day period that the government is shut down, but then they always get the money back in the pay. Of course, it's a hardship because people live paycheck to paycheck. It's difficult, but they don't lose their jobs. So do you have any idea how the decision is made, whether to eliminate the jobs or to do furloughs?
Well, Russ Vought is in the process right now with his team and the White House team of determining how far this has to go. Remember, there's no new money coming in for discretionary spending, so they don't have a choice. So when they look at the hierarchy of needs and priorities, they're obviously going to look first to eliminate programs and positions that do not align with the administration's priorities. Now, Chuck Schumer has a very different vision for government than Donald Trump does. But now Chuck Schumer, ironically, has given the keys to the kingdom to the president. That's what I keep saying. He has handed this over for unilateral authority to the Trump administration to make these decisions. He's abdicated his responsibility and given it to them. It's the one exception where we don't have to get Democrat votes in the Senate to do that. So he has literally fallen into a trap that he set himself.
I think he may, for that reason, want to rethink this, because the White House is going to get a lot of the cuts that they might not otherwise have gotten that they want. Mr. Speaker, nice to see you, sir, as always. Thank you, sir.
You too, my friend. Good to talk to you. Yes, ma'am.
People think news just happens. It doesn't. It happens because there's someone there to capture the moment, to explain it and share it. That's my job. I go where news breaks and give you the facts. Join me for The Record on Newsmax.